A gay couple will appear in court later to sue the Christian owners of a guest house near Penzance after they were refused a double room at the hotel. Katie Stavard is live in Bristol for us this morning. And Katie, why is this couple bringing this action?
Well, this all goes back to September 2008 when Stephen Preddy and his partner Martin Hall had booked a room over the phone at the Chimorva private hotel near Penzance in Cornwall. Now, unbeknown to them, the hotel had a policy in place that only married heterosexual couples could share a double room at the hotel. So when Mr. Preddy and Mr. Hall turned up, they were turned away, and they're suing under the Equality Act, which states that it's unlawful for a person to be refused goods or facilities on the grounds of their sexual orientation. Now, the owners of that B&B, Mr. and Mrs. Bull, are devout Christians, and their defence is that this policy was not targeting people on the grounds of sexual orientation. It was merely trying to prevent any sexual activity outside of marriage. They say that they are deeply religious, that the Christian faith teaches that sex outside of marriage is forbidden, and that under God they are responsible for what happens under their own roof. So this is why they say this policy is in place, and this is why they say they are not guilty of breaching the regulations of the Equality Act. If that fails, there is a second line to their defence, which is that these regulations breach their human rights under the European Convention, specifically Article 9, which defends the freedom of thought, conscience and religion. The barrister will argue in court on behalf of the Bulls that their rights would be breached if they were forced to have people under their roof sharing a bed who were not married. So it's a very interesting case here at the County Court, and it's picked up some powerful representation. Mr. and Mrs. Bull, the hotel owners, are represented here by the Christian Institute. The couple who are bringing this action, Mr. Preddy and Mr. Hall, are represented by the Equality and Human Rights Commission. So there's very much being seized upon as a test case, and what starts here in the County Court in Bristol today may well then progress to the Court of Appeal, to the Supreme Court, and potentially on to the European courts in Strasbourg in the end. So a lot of interest in what's happening in this courtroom today.
Thanks, Katie.